The Pope is not going to retire. He has said it himself in a clear and categorical way in the interview he has given to the Spanish journalist Carlos Herrera in the Spanish Bishop's radio station. He has said, "I do not know who has come up with that idea, because it has certainly been an insistent rumor in recent weeks after the Holy Father's surgery." The Pope also in the same interview clarified that he has practically recovered from the operation, but he said that he almost died and that it was a nurse who advised him to go to the operating room and not to pay attention to the doctors who wanted to cure the problem with antibiotics. A problem that only had surgery because a part of the colon, 30 centimeters, had or was necrotic. The Pope is not going to retire, he has said so, but there is a question that has not been clarified in the interview. At least if he was asked the question and he answered, that has not been published. I'm referring to the question of whether or not there is going to be a statute, some kind of legislation on Pope's emeritus. Because when the rumor began that the Pope was going to retire, it was not linked to his state of health, but to this issue. The fact that the Pope resigns, first, this is not the first time it has happened in history, and it is a foreseeable fact. Benedict XVI has done something he could do. He has resigned. Well, but what was not foreseen, because they were exceptional cases, was what he had to do, what limitations the Pope Emeritus, the Pope who resigned, would have. And it is necessary to clarify this. It is necessary to avoid confusion and to avoid perhaps in the future, not with Pope Benedict, obviously, but to avoid in the future the risk of the Church being divided by having 2 or 3 popes. The statute on the goal, the limitations, the functions of a Pope Emeritus, it is necessary to do it. Around the rumor that this statute was being prepared, it arose as a rumor, of course, because nothing is known until it is written down. The rumor arose that just as the bishops had to present their resignation at 75, and the cardinals lost the right to vote in a conclave at 80, the Pope could resign. He could. I don't think he could ever be forced. He could resign at 85, 75, 80, 85. And that speculation was the one that generated that since the current Pope, Pope Francis, is very close to being 85, he could resign after his 85th birthday. Well, that's all speculation and rumors. But certainly the statute on the function, the mission, the limitations of the Pope's Emeritus is necessary in the Church. I do not know if it is not only necessary but also urgent, but it is necessary. In any case, Pope Francis has said he is in excellent health and that he is not going to resign, at least due to his state of health. The other major news this week was the surrounding success of the pro-life movement in the U.S. state of Texas. Texas passed a legislation according to which it was not possible to have an abortion when the fetus showed signs of life through the heartbeat. When it was detected that the fetus had a beating heart, it could no longer be aborted, and that happens in approximately 6 weeks. Of course, the anti-life, pro-abortion people appealed to the Supreme Court, and the Supreme Court ruled in favor of Texas. That is, in Texas, you cannot have an abortion after 6 weeks, or, in other words, you cannot have an abortion when the doctors detect the fetal heartbeat, which happens at the 6th week. This has an enormous number of wonderful consequences. The first one is that it is estimated that 50,000 children only in the state of Texas will be able to be born every year. Well, that is the first and most important. Then there is another consequence, and it is that if Texas can do this, so can other American states that are also in favor of life, especially the southern states where the Republicans govern, and also other states, other nations outside the United States. If you can only have an abortion before 6 weeks, the time limit for abortion is very short. Why? Because the woman usually realizes that she is pregnant after 1 month of pregnancy. That is, if she realizes at the 4th week she is pregnant, she will only have 2 weeks to have an abortion. It is not the ideal solution, which would be to prohibit abortions, but it is a measure, a great victory in favor of life, and a measure that will favor the birth of many children who otherwise would have been killed in the womb of their mothers. Moreover, and this is the most important thing, of course, but moreover, this represents a defeat for the New World Order, which has in abortion, in euthanasia, not only there, but it has in abortion and euthanasia its first objectives. It is a defeat for the New World Order that a state like Texas, a very important state in the United States, has achieved this, and that other states inside and outside that country are going to imitate it. It is a defeat for the New World Order. That means they can be defeated, that they are not as powerful as they want us to believe, that they do not have everything as tied up as they say, that they are not invincible, that they can be defeated, and that has been achieved by the tenacity, by the perseverance of all those who are in favor of life. They have fought without giving up. They have fought against publicity, they have fought against insults, they have fought against all kinds of persecution, sometimes in jail. They have not given up, and they have won. And if the New World Order can be defeated in a matter as thorny, as sensitive as abortion, it can also be defeated within the Church. They have all the power, that is what they say. They have all the resources, and they want to make the Church a branch of the New World Order, docile to power, that accepts what they want, that blesses what they decide. They count to achieve it, of course, with help not only from outside but also from within. If the pro-lifers have won in Texas, we can also win. We can also win over those who are in favor of the rupture with the Word of God and with the tradition, those of the new Church. We can win. We can win those of us who believe that Christ is still alive, that Christ is the Lord, that Christ never passes away, that we must be faithful to Christ even if we accept persecution or loss of honor or loss of life. We can overcome. It is not written that we are already defeated, although they are telling us every day we can overcome. They have the power, well, but we have the reason. We have Christ who is the way, the truth, and the life. Meditating on this, I remembered an old song from when I was young, a song popularized by John Bass, based on a very old religious hymn that was later used in the context of the Union struggle and the fight against racism. We will win. Christ won. We will win. What we must not do is give up. What we must not do is give the battle for lost. The success in Texas shows that tenacity, perseverance, believing, and putting into practice what you believe in is what will give you the victory. Christ won, we will win. See you next week, God willing.